you may be wondering why you're looking down on me on what is clearly a classic car. This is my 1955 Series 1 Land Rover. And what has that got to do with cameras, I hear you ask? Well, I thought I'm coming up on 3 months of ownership with my dream film camera, which is the Leica M6. And I thought, I'm going to tell you about it because I love it. It has been everything I wanted and more. So let's go get a coffee and talk about the camera. About 3 months ago, I picked up the Leica M6 with the 35mm f2 Summicron. I wanted basically with my Leica experience to have a one camera, one lens solution. So I picked 35mm. I was originally going to go 50mm, but I think 50 can be more limiting than 28. But 28 is often nowhere near close enough. So I went for 35 as an in-between. And it's safe to say that it has not disappointed one bit. I love it. I love it. It's come everywhere with me. I've put so many rolls of film through it. It's inspired me like no other camera ever has. I truly believe that Leica does deserve all of the hype it gets. I don't know any other camera on the market that is as intuitive to use, as well built. You know, yes, they are really expensive, painfully expensive, but in terms of what you're getting, I don't feel like I've been shortchanged at all. I feel like I have bought a premium product that is worth every penny. It's always good to miss a gear, isn't it? The funny thing about a car like this, when you're driving it, you have to double the clutch. So you press the clutch in once to put it into neutral and then again to put it into gear. Because it's got no synchro mesh, so it can be very, very clunky. There's a real knack to driving this car. But I honestly, I think it's impossible to be unhappy in this car, like genuinely. You just get in it and it's such a treat to drive. It's uncomfortable, it's slow. I've never got faster than probably 30 miles an hour out of this car. It's a bit smelly, it's a bit temperamental sometimes, but my word, does it make you happy. Like nothing else I've driven. And I've driven some pretty cool things over the years. Nothing makes me happier than this car. It's a 70-year-old car at the end of the day. It comes from an era that, you know, you tell a person from 1955 that the technology we have today, and that's why I thought it was relevant to be in this car when I talked to you about the Leica M6. So mine is technically the reissue of the original. So it's a brand new camera built exactly the same as the original cameras from back in the day. I have a suspicion there might be a fuel leak because I just put an entire jerry can of fuel in this car. I've driven it 3 kilometers. Oh, hold on. She's alive! No, she's not. There's something not quite right going on here. You now join me in a starkly less interesting car, my BMW 1 Series, because the Land Rover decided, you've had enough fun for today, I'm going to break now. And so I've had to put it away. But that doesn't take away from the fact that we are here technically not to talk about a Land Rover, but to talk about the Leica M6. So I'm going to drive over to the coffee shop now and we will have a nice little conversation about, you know, its pros and cons, its drawbacks, because it does have some. I have actually found some limitations of the camera. And yeah, we'll have a good old chat about it.
coffee shop. Flat white, naturally, even though it is literally the hottest day of the year. Still drinking warm coffee because, of course, I'm not best at public speaking or speaking in public when there's people around. It's busy today, so I might have to hold on a little bit, but here she is. This is my Leica M6 with 35mm zoom lens, and she's a beauty.
Right, found a park bench. Let's get into the meat and two veg of this camera. This is the Leica M6 reissue. So it's not an original, but it is like 95% exactly the same camera as the original, with a couple of minor upgrades which basically iron out a couple of the niggles with the original camera. So it's got the upgraded light meter from the MP, which is the most modern Leica film camera, which by all accounts, not that I've used an original M6, but it is significantly better. And it is now entirely constructed of brass. So the old originals had a problem where the paint would bubble on the aluminium top. I think it's aluminium, but, well, no, it might be zinc actually, but sort of besides the point. Basically, we now have a completely brass construction, which basically removes that issue of the paint bubbling. I've dreamt of owning this camera pretty much from the moment I discovered what street photography was, fell in love with the craft and the medium and the way you can tell stories, and not to romanticize it too much, but really, it really makes me feel like I'm capturing and documenting history. And that, to me, really puts a fire in my belly and makes me want to get out and start taking photos. I chose to pair my M6 with the 35mm Summicron lens, the f2, which is the latest copy of that. So I think it's the aspherical 2, maybe? Not 100% sure, but we'll go with that. This lens has not disappointed in the slightest. I mean, f2 is plenty for me. All of my digital cameras, the widest they ever go is f2.8. I know you can boost the ISO a lot higher and whatever. The build quality of all of this as a package is unlike anything else I've had in my hand. All too often you hear people saying, oh, your camera gear doesn't matter, your camera gear doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. And I get the sentiment with that, because it's basically, you know, trying to say, don't worry about what camera you've got, just get out and shoot, which is correct. I 100% agree with that, don't get me wrong, and I'm not slating that. But I take a slightly different angle. Your camera gear does matter, but not for the reason you may think, because the photo that I can take on this is the same as a photo I could take on my Olympus OM4 Ti with a 35mm lens, or if I set my iPhone to 35mm. But what actually inspires you to get out and take a photo? Because nothing about my iPhone makes me want to go and make photos. Granted, the Olympus OM4 Ti, which was my primary film camera for a long time, did inspire me to go out and take photos. But it didn't inspire me to take street photos. It was a camera that I would take on holiday or to a party or whatever. It was a documentary camera. I've used it to take photos of classic F1 cars. Here are some examples that I took not that long ago at the Masters Historic Brands Hatch Racing. But nothing has ever inspired me to get out and take photos, street photos, documentary photos, however you choose to call it, like this. My style of photography on the street is not very confrontational. I don't love to get right up in people's faces in the same way that someone like Martin Parr does, or a more modern photographer like Trevor Wisecup does. But the intuitive way you can use zone focus on this camera is unbelievable. It's helped me, like learning the system of zone focus has helped me take photos that ordinarily I would have missed, because I'd have had to put the camera up to my eye, focus it, and then take the photo, and that's too long. That's too long of a process to be doing when you're capturing split-second moments. And I should clarify, because you can use zone focusing on other lenses, but it's so much more intuitive on the Leica that it blows everything else out of the water. I've never been able to quite figure it out with my, let's say, Olympus, but pretty much instantly I figured it out with this camera. And that's not to say that there aren't drawbacks with this camera. So for example, you look through this patch on the top left of the camera, so for example, you look through the top left patch, so you're not actually looking directly through the camera. So you have this thing called parallax correction within the camera, which basically tries to bridge the gap between what you're seeing through the viewfinder and what you're actually seeing through the lens. But the closer you get to your subject, the less correct, if that's the right way of saying it, the parallax correction is. So for example, I came a cropper on a shoot the other day where I was working for one of my commercials, where I had to crop all of my images up and to the left to recenter the subject, because I didn't know I had to account for the parallax when I was up that close. So, you know, it is always horses for courses, but this camera has truly changed the game for me. It's got me out shooting for my own pleasure more than any other camera that I've used.